Hey you guys, I'm just gonna wait a second and make sure people come on. We've had problems before on Instagram. I think all the live Zumba classes and live workouts all start at 5. So I'm just gonna give it a second until I start seeing people jump on. Hey, there's some people. Hi guys, how are you? I was just giving it a second to let people jump on. Instagram is super wonky lately. Oh, thank you for the hearts. So I'm just gonna get started for the people that did come right on time. Hi guys, it's Julie at Cooking W Julie. Another episode of Quarantine Kitchen. I hope you guys are doing well. Happy hump day. So what I thought I would do today is share one of my total favorite cooking methods for vegetables. So as you guys know, I am a healthy recipe developer. I do tons of recipes for WW, formerly known as Weight Watchers, for Beachbody Fitness, for Shape Magazine, for all different kinds of places like that. And roasting vegetables is, no joke, seriously, probably my favorite way to prepare them. So give me some thumbs up, you guys, if you're into roasting veggies too. But I've found over time, I have lots of really cool hacks and tips to make sure you get the most delicious, amazing results out of your roasted veggies. And they're really, really simple for you to do at home. The reason why I think this is a great topic right now for Quarantine Kitchen, hey everyone joining, we're doing how to rock roasted veggies. So when you're cooking with whatever the heck is left in the fridge, sometimes it can get challenging to come up with what to do with little scraps and bits of things. And seriously, there aren't very many veggies I've met that you can't roast that aren't gonna come out totally delicious. So the first tip, here's number one. You guys have parchment paper at home? Anybody recognize this stuff? You might have bought a box of it when you were doing some fussy brownie recipe or cake recipe and you had to line the pan. Well, I've got good news for you. Here's the thing. This stuff is magic for lining sheet pans for roasting vegetables, and I'll tell you why. So first of all, it makes a total non-stick surface on your pan. So it's easier to clean up. Everything is gonna pop right off. There is nothing worse for me when I go to roast a bunch of veggies and all that yummy browning that's so delicious about roasting them gets stuck to the bottom of the pan. And I'm sorry, I hate doing dishes. I don't want to be scrubbing pans and cleaning them up. So using parchment is the number one way to get a non-stick surface, make sure your veggies won't stick. And the other thing that's really cool about it, you guys, it's paper. So it absorbs some of the moisture that's coming off the vegetables while they roast. So they're gonna get browner and even crispier. So I'm gonna give you a little peek. I did a little before and after kind of a thing. Hi guys, my grocery store was out of parchment paper. Oh, that stinks, I'm so sorry. And I know on Amazon, I would say order from Amazon. Normally it would come tomorrow, but I bet Target would have it. Targets are actually open. I was sort of surprised about that, but they would have it in like the baking aisle or by the foil. Where else? Check online, baking supply places. Interestingly enough, a lot of restaurants are delivering ingredients now. If you have a local restaurant, you can maybe ask them. They might have big pieces. So, and if not, if you have to, you could use foil. But I don't know about you, when I roast veggies on foil and I use the spatula to get them off, the foil tears, it sticks. So if you can, try to get yourself some parchment paper. The other cool thing about roasting veggies on parchment, you can actually use less oil. You can even get away with just using cooking spray because it's not gonna stick anyway and you're still gonna get that great browning. So I'll give you a little peek. I did a little, hi, I see some thumbs up. Let's see if this pan is still hot. No, we're good. Here, wait. I'll line them up exactly the same. So this was before. I'll show you guys. I basically divvied up a bunch of different random veggies I had in my fridge. This is the before, and I'll tell you exactly how I prepped them. And then this is the yummy after. I absolutely love vegetables roasted like this. I've got some curried cauliflower, some cinnamon cumin sweet potato fries, and some classic crispy Brussels sprouts. And I'll just give you guys a closer up peek. The edges get nice and crispy and browned. You can see how yummy they are. The sweet potato fries, they hold up. You see what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, they're not deep fried crispy, but they're still really, really yummy and an easy way to prepare them. So, okay, let me start out with how I did this and what I put on the pan and how I season them and all of that. And then I'm gonna also cover some like random veggies and sort of how long those take to roast and how I would treat those. Does that sound good? And you guys ask questions too. I want you to be like, hey, Julie, I got this in my fridge. Can I roast it? Okay, so let me get this out of the way. Making room. Whoop, I'm back. I have a tiny kitchen here in Hoboken. There's not far to go. Okay, so the first thing when you're roasting veggies of any kind, you need to cut them up into even-sized kind of evenish pieces. You don't have to go crazy. But the reason you want to do that, they're going to cook at the same rate that way, and they're going to get the same kind of browning and tenderness inside. For everybody joining, we're doing how to rock roasted veggies, and I just started out with one quick tip. You guys, I post these afterwards on IGTV, so it's at Cooking W Julie, and I also put them on my YouTube channel, which is Cooking W Julie. So if you guys want to check out past episodes, you can go there and you can see. Mondays was all about Instant Pots. Okay, so back to our roasted veggies. So it's important to cut everything up to, not everything, but each individual vegetable type, if you're gonna do a mixed tray like this, to cut them up to even-sized pieces. And you can go with different shapes. So with Brussels sprouts, when they're big, today I went with halved ones like this, and I put them cut side down because then you get that really nice browning on the surface. The browning is what tastes so delicious. With the sweet potatoes, I leave the skin on. You can do this the same thing with like regular potatoes or baby potatoes. You don't have to like waste your time peeling them. I did a little mix of cubes and fries. And another key thing, so once you cut them to an even size, all of these kinds of hard veggies, say Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, sweet potatoes, I'm trying to think what else I would lump in there. Butternut squash, acorn squash. Those take about a half an hour to roast or so. You could even go as high as 45 minutes. The other key thing, guys, go with the highest heat that your oven can do. Well, not the highest. Mine can go to 500. Go to 450. I've never had a problem with the parchment burning. Don't worry about that. It's not gonna go up in flames or anything. What's gonna happen, it's gonna crisp the veggies on the outside while keeping the inside still tender, so it won't take as long to cook. So harder vegetables like these will take, this was about 30 minutes. For those of you joining, hi, we're doing how to rock roasted veggies. So this is a mixed tray of curried cauliflower, cinnamon cumin sweet potato fries, and super classic roasted Brussels sprouts. So another tip for you guys, parchment paper was tip 1, cut them into even pieces is tip 2. Tip 3 is go all the way up to 450 in your oven. Next tip, you need to leave a little breathing room between these guys while they roast. And the reason for that, you need the hot air from the oven to circulate around them so they'll get nice and brown on all of their edges. Look how yummy. I love roasted cauliflower. Who likes roasted cauliflower? Anyone? Give me some thumbs up or hearts if you guys love roasted cauliflower. I've actually converted cauliflower haters to lovers with that one. So the other tip, hi, I see someone saying hi, but I can't see. Hi, Sandy. So the other tip, leaving room between them is going to make sure that you're going to get nice even browning all around each of the veggies, which is what you want. These, guys, I didn't even stir them halfway through. The other reason why I love roasting veggies so much, thanks for the hearts. The other reason why I love roasting veggies so much, it's hands-off cooking. So the parchment's making it easy cleanup. Throwing a sheet pan in the oven with some prepared vegetables on it, you've already got half of your meal done. And if you wanted to, you don't have to do a whole giant sheet pan like this. I actually do them pretty often in my toaster oven with like a little tiny roasting pan. You could do a total mix of veggies. So hard ones like this are gonna take about 30 minutes. Another type of veggie you could roast would be like peppers or eggplant. I love doing those. Onions. Those take actually more like 20 to 30 minutes. They're a lot less than this. But roasting those, I do this really great. I love this recipe. It's a roasted veggie ratatouille. You guys can go to my website and find it. It's cookingwjulie.com. And the reason why I love it, so when you normally make ratatouille, all of those vegetables release a lot of water. And if you're sauteing them on the stovetop, it takes forever for them to cook down and you wind up with something kind of watery. So if you dice up your eggplant, your peppers, and your onions, you can do zucchini this way too. Just dice them up, spread them out on your parchment, and roast them. You could do 2 baking pans at once, like this. You guys are gonna get like yummy, brown, nutty, delicious results. What I do when I make ratatouille, I roast all the veggies like that, and then I just stir them into some tomato sauce with some seasonings on the stovetop, and it's done. So that's a little tip for you guys. I love doing that. All right, let's see. What were some other ideas? Oh, seasonings. So these are some of my favorites. It's very easy to season these. You just chop up whatever veggie you're gonna do. I usually put them in a bowl where I have some room to toss them around. And then you can either do a little bit of olive oil to help it stick, help your seasoning stick. If you're on the WW plan or you're really watching your calories and fat, you can totally get away if you're using parchment. You can get away with just using, hi Annette, how are you? What's up? You can get away with using just a little bit of cooking spray. So put the veggies in the bowl, coat them with something, just a little bit of cooking spray or oil, give it a toss, and then you can go as basic as I love this stuff. Anyone use this? Don't worry, there's no MSG in it. Not that MSG is so terrible or anything, but it's Goya adobo with the red cap. I'm totally hooked. It makes everything taste so yummy, and it just makes it like really easy to season things. Or you could do salt and pepper. This just has salt, a little pepper, a little oregano. I think that's about it. A little bit of garlic. So it gives everything a yummy flavor. Other seasonings I really, really love. Salt and pepper or Goya. That's actually all I put on the Brussels. And then what I would do when they were done, I also use it. I know, it's really good, you guys, I swear. Everything on the grill comes out great with this. So if you're someone who doesn't like to have a ton of things in the pantry, this is a good one to get. Okay, let's see. So, olive oil cooking spray, salt and pepper or the Goya. On the Brussels, I leave them plain. When they're done, I might drizzle them with a tiny bit of balsamic vinegar, just to drizzle, to give them that nice tartness, or a little drizzle of maple syrup is really yummy too. With the sweet potatoes, something I love doing with these guys, let's see. You can do, going through all my little spices over here, I love doing a mix of cinnamon and cumin together. Show you guys. Like the cumin gives it a little bit of earthiness, which is super yummy, and the cinnamon gives it that yummy sweetness that you like. It's just a really fun flavor combo. Another veggie that works really well with cinnamon and cumin that you can roast, believe it or not, this is the craziest carrot, by the way. It's giant. If I was gonna roast this carrot, I would peel it and either treat it just like a sweet potato. Either dice it into little cubes like this, or you could do the carrots into sticks too. But roasted carrots are seriously delicious. So if you guys haven't tried them yet, I posted a recipe on my feed at Cooking W Julie. I think it was like last week or so. It was tricolor carrots. So if you've got some carrots hanging out in your fridge that you're really like ready to get rid of, you can peel them, dice them, cut them into sticks and roast them. Add a little cinnamon and cumin. You could also add, who loves smoked paprika? Anyone else love this stuff? I'm obsessed. Okay, I wish I could have you smell it. I'll just show you anyway. So, smoked paprika is totally different from regular paprika. This stuff's made in Spain from peppers that are dried and then smoked. So it has, I swear, it smells like barbecue kind of. It's got this really delicious heat. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. If you guys have had chorizo sausage, you know the spicy Spanish sausage that's kind of like a pinkish orange inside? It's the smoked paprika or pimenton that gives it that color. So that is also really delicious to add a kick to roasted sweet potatoes or roasted carrots. These are just some seasoning ideas for you. And on cauliflower, I've got to tell you, it's totally game changing. Even if you're not the biggest fan of like traditional Indian food like curries because they're too spicy or whatever for you, just a little bit of curry powder. Where'd my curry powder go? Here you go. Just some curry powder on your cauliflower when you roast it. Tastes so delicious. It just enhances the flavor and kind of really brings out the nuttiness and the sweetness to it. Hi guys, for everyone joining, I'm doing how to rock your roasted veggies. It's one of my favorite ways to cook them. I'm a healthy recipe developer. I do a lot of recipes for WW, and I figured this was a good quarantine kitchen cooking hack for everybody. Okay, so cauliflower, like I said, you can roast it like this, toss it in some olive oil and some curry powder. I actually then will take this roasted cauliflower and add it into a soup or a stew that I'm making. If you have extras or leftovers, a good idea that I do at the beginning of the week, or if you're like kind of doing a fridge clean out, just roast whatever scraps of veggies you have left and then save them, and you can add them to other dishes because the roasting is taking out some of the water, so it's gonna taste really, really delicious and give like almost a meatiness to other things you add them to. Okay, so that's really it with this, but now I'm gonna show you who likes beets. I love beets. I know they're kind of polarizing. I've met a lot of people who don't like them, but they can be a little tricky to cook. So I figured I'd show you guys how to roast beets because they're super simple to do, and it's a little different from this one with the sheet pan and the parchment paper. Okay, I did a before and after for you. Such a dork sometimes. So to roast a beet, all you need to do, wrap it whole. You don't need to peel it. Give it a rinse, get any of the dirt off. You don't need to really trim it a lot. You're gonna roast it whole like this, wrapped in foil. So this would be the before. You take your beet, plunk it down. Then you're just gonna do a little bit of olive oil or cooking spray. My friend Jackie was teasing me on Monday's live because I made little sound effects for the Instant Pot, and I just made sound effects for the olive oil. I said, a little bit of our salt, our Goya salt. Just rub it on there. And this is just gonna help season it on the outside. And then literally, you guys, this is how easy it is. You make like a little foil packet and just throw that in the oven, right on the oven rack. Or if you're roasting a whole bunch of veggies, you can put it on with the rest of them. But here's the only thing with beets. They vary. This big beet could take 25 minutes. This little one could take an hour. I don't really understand why. If someone knows why, you can chime in and tell me. I don't know if it's how old they are or just some freak of nature, but what you're looking for when they're done, I think this guy could use a little more time, but I wanted to have him to show to you. You want to be able to insert a knife in it really easily. So this one went in pretty easy. Can you guys see this? So you're looking for that kind of tenderness when it's done. Then this is the best part. Beets will absolutely stain your fingers and you're gonna get stuck scrubbing the beet juice off. If you roast your beets in foil like this and let them cool, you can actually just use the foil to scrape the skin off. Can you guys see that? See if you guys can see. Can you see how easy that skin's coming off? That's how I roast all of my beets. Now you've roasted it, it's tender, it's peeled, you let it cool, you dice it up. I love beets with like goat cheese or feta on top of a salad. And for quarantine cooking, beets last for such a long time. They're a really, really good one to buy, and they're cheap too. You can also eat the greens, by the way. I'm trying to be like super not wasteful right now, just with, I don't know. It makes me feel badly all the time throwing out food, but trying to avoid trips to the store. I'm really trying to get creative and use everything up. So some other veggies that I love to roast. Hi, Delaney. My friend Delaney just jumped on. I saw her name. She's gonna jump off now. She's very shy. Okay, kale. Anyone like kale? So I love kale to add to soups and stews and even to use it for like a Caesar salad or whatnot. I did an episode of Quarantine Kitchen last week that's on my IGTV where I showed how to make a really yummy, lemony, easy, light Caesar dressing for kale salad. But kale actually makes amazing chips. So if you guys are into veggie chips, it's so easy to do kale chips. The only thing is, you should get the curly kale like this. You guys see that? And I'll tell you why. So, what you would do if you were gonna make kale chips, I tear away the stem like this and just rip the kale into little chunks. About this big is good. And the reason why I like doing kale chips with curly kale, you're gonna toss it with, actually, you don't even need to toss it. You can just, no, I'm gonna go back on that. You can toss it. Either way, you can either put it in your bowl, all your little pieces of kale, just a little bit of olive oil or a little bit of cooking spray, salt and pepper, and whatever seasonings you want. I have a bunch of kale chip recipes on my website too. It's cookingwjulie.com. But the reason you want to use the curly parts, it's going to help it stand up away from the parchment like this. So it comes out nice and crispy and crunchy. They're super yummy and kids really like them. I used to make them for my girls all the time when they were little. You can check on my website, but I think they cook in seriously like 12 minutes. Because if you think about it, it's mostly air. There's not that much vegetable in there. But the same thing. Parchment paper, high heat, even sized pieces. Give them some room to breathe on the parchment. If your vegetables are all crowded in and touching when you try to roast them, they're really just going to steam, if you think about it. As they like get hotter and release that water to get brown, they're going to steam and get mushy together. So it's important to use 2 pans if you're doing a lot and just kind of spread them out. Hey guys, anyone who's just joining, I'm Julie, and this is Quarantine Kitchen. It's a little cooking lesson basically, and today we're doing how to rock your roasted veggies. So I already went through a whole bunch of them, but I always post these to my story after, and then they're also all on my IGTV. So if you want to check out like the last couple of weeks episodes, you guys can go there. So that would be how you would make kale chips. It's like so simple. Another one that's amazing roasted, I think this is baby broccoli. Oh, it's so cute. You guys ever roast your broccoli? It's a really good one if you're getting sick of sauteing it, or if you've got picky kids that you're feeding, which I know like a lot of time kids are kind of anti-greens. And honestly, even just for ourselves, it's good to freshen up what we're eating to make it taste good to ourselves. And what's cool about this, it's a really healthy way to prepare it. So broccoli cooks really quickly too. You would just do it right on here. This is baby broccoli. So if you were doing regular broccoli, you would just cut it into little florets like this, about this size. Same deal, you guys. Olive oil. I would do garlic powder on broccoli. It would be really nice. Just your salt and roast it. It roasts so fast and it comes out brown and crispy, the little edges. And then what I like to do is drizzle it with a little bit of sesame oil and soy sauce. So it's got like kind of an Asian vibe to it. It's a really cool, different way to make your broccoli. Last one, and this one was like game changing for me actually. You guys a mushroom fan? I love mushrooms. I'm a huge fan of mushrooms. Who is that? Very good about not overcrowding. Yeah, exactly. You don't want them to steam, then you're gonna be like, that was a waste of my time. So with mushrooms, believe it or not, when you roast mushrooms, they come out crispy where they actually have like a little crumble and a bite to them. And they are fantastic to put like on top of a salad instead of croutons, or to put on top of pasta to give you that kind of crunch while you're digging into your pasta. And to roast mushrooms, all you need to do, this guy's huge. I would take the stem out and then just slice it up. Or if you have a package of the mixed mushrooms or the pre-sliced, you're good to go. Guess what? Same deal. Parchment paper, you guys knew that. 450 degrees, you guys knew that. Into the bowl, a little bit of olive oil or cooking spray, salt and pepper, whatever seasonings you want. And then the same deal, guys. You just spread it out on your sheet pan, giving them some room to breathe. Believe it or not, mushrooms will go from raw to yummy and crispy and browned in seriously like 15 minutes. So I want someone out there watching to promise me that you'll try roasting your mushrooms next time you make them. They come out really, really amazing. Let me think if there were any other veggies I wanted to cover. You could do butternut squash roasted. Believe it or not, and this was something that I tested for a project I was doing, you can even roast some vegetables from frozen. So if you have a bag of like, I'm pointing that way because my freezer's there. If you guys have a bag of like frozen cauliflower in your freezer, you can actually roast it from frozen. I've like tossed it in olive oil, the same treatment here, 450 degree oven, parchment paper on the pan, olive oil and curry powder. What's cool about when you roast it from frozen, the outside's getting it nice and yummy and brown, but the inside will actually stay really tender. So that's another idea for you. Does anyone have any other questions or any questions at all about roasting veggies? Anybody have anything like hanging out in their fridge that they want some easy ideas for? Or I see some people hanging out. Just let me know. I also roast squash whole, but what I was kind of showing you guys today was how to get that yummy, delicious browning that you want on each of your roasted veggies. Well, you know what? Since I'm gonna post this afterwards too, if you're thinking about it and you want me to jump back on and answer your questions, you can just leave a question in the comments. I always try to reply to them. And anyone who's watching too, don't forget green beans. Yes. Thank you for the question. I'm putting cauliflower in now. I love it. Oh my God. Tag me in a picture so we can see. I'll try to share it underneath and I'll share it in my story so I can see. Don't worry, it'll look great. I don't want you to be like shy about it. So green beans, you can totally roast those. Asparagus, you know what's weird? I'm gonna be honest, well, I'm always honest with you, but asparagus, I've tried roasting it and it gets stringy. It's probably the only vegetable I don't like roasted. I love asparagus grilled. I think it comes out fantastic on the grill or in a grill pan. There's something about it that when I roast it, I don't love how stringy the texture is. Green beans, you would totally just toss with olive oil, salt and pepper, do the same deal, 450 degree oven, parchment paper on your pan, give them some room to breathe. I think I have a recipe on my website for roasted green beans with like a spicy roasted pepper sauce on them. They come out nutty and crispy, they're super yummy. Yeah, you could do parm. Parmesan's good on everything. I would wait though, and I would put the Parmesan on after. So another tip, this is something I do in a lot of my recipes. After you roast your veggies, you still have the opportunity to put some cool seasonings on them. So for example, you could, like the Brussels sprouts, I was saying you could add maple syrup or balsamic to them. Say this roasted cauliflower, you could toss it with like torn fresh herbs like mint or parsley or some capers or some lemon zest. Like you could put any kind of seasoning on top of any of these after they're done. A really amazing dish. It's actually like a classic French dish. You can roast potatoes and then after they're crispy and out of the oven, you toss them in, I think it's called, I might be wrong, I'll have to look it up, pomme persalade, I think. Sorry, my culinary school instructors are like, Julie, you should know that. You toss potatoes with chopped parsley, garlic, and lemon zest. After they come out, oh my God, they're so good, you guys. It's like this like bright, fresh flavor and that lemoniness. But because it's lemon zest, it's not gonna make them watery. So you're gonna still have that yummy, crispy potato, but with all that flavor. Oh, hey you guys, there's a lot of people just joining. I'm doing how to rock your roasted veggies. This is Quarantine Kitchen, I'm Julie. all of my prior episodes, they're all like easy hacks, pantry cooking ideas, some healthy cooking ideas. Monday was all about Instant Pots and how they work. You guys can check out all the prior episodes on @CookingWJulie on my IGTV and CookingWJulie on YouTube too. Does anybody have any other questions? And I wanted to remind everyone, I'm giving away 2 Instant Pots this week because I did a whole bunch of TV segments, I think it was back in January, which feels like 3 years ago at this point, all about cooking in Instant Pots and how they work and whether they're worth making room in your kitchen for. A quick preview, Instant Pot's just a brand name. Breville makes them, Ninja makes them. I've tested all the different models out. It's basically pressure cooking, and I can vouch and say that they're really fast, they're really easy, they're easy to clean up. Oh, one more thing on the roasted veggies that I'm gonna tell you too before I go. But anyway, I reached out to Instant Pot a couple of weeks ago and I was like, I think everyone needs some Instant Pots right now because everyone's home cooking for their families and super stressed out, and they're really awesome. So if you guys want to sign up to try to win, it's on my feed @CookingWJulie. It's really easy. It's like the post and tag, you guys know the deal. So the other thing, guys, when you're roasting veggies, like I was saying, it's a great way to use up little scraps that are in your fridge. You can just do like a whole mix, or you can make little sections like I did here with different vegetable types and different seasonings. You could also really easily just throw some chicken breast on here, or like a salmon fillet. Salmon's gonna cook in like 10-15 minutes, so I would add that towards the end of the roasting. But you can basically DIY your own sheet pan suppers. So everything's cooking at once, super easy cleanup, the parchment makes it non-stick, and you just rocked out dinner for everybody without touching anything, just like a half hour to 35 minutes in the oven. So I have some recipes on my website. Go to cookingwjulie.com and search sheet pan. I know I have like a salmon with bok choy. You can roast bok choy. I have a beef tenderloin with potato and Brussels sprouts. I think I have a chicken and cauliflower and chickpea. There are lots of different sheet pan suppers you can do too with roasted veggies. So for everyone who's just joining, I'm actually wrapping up now, but I'll post this to my story after. It was all about how to rock roasted veggies. And on Friday, I'm totally gonna do some happy hour recipe for us. So Friday at 5 p.m. EST, I'll be back with another episode of Quarantine Kitchen, and feel free to DM me anytime, you guys. Seriously, like what can I make, what can I do with, or I'm having a hard time making XYZ. So I'm gonna say goodnight now, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.